Welcome back to Cynthia Untamed. This is your youthful and educational platform. As usual, if you've not watched any of my videos, please do check them out. My last video was about succeeding as a law student, and basically all about succeeding if you're studying for a law degree anywhere in Kenya. So I shared my experience and a couple of tips, so do make sure you check it out, and also tell a friend to tell a friend, share, like and subscribe. I think I've mentioned before that I am the Generation Unlimited Youth Ambassador for Kenya. If you're not familiar with Generation Unlimited, it's a partnership between governments, the United Nations, civil society, private sector, to come together to empower young people through education, employment, and meaningful engagement. So basically that's what I'm involved in. At the global level, I advise the Global Leadership Council on youth issues, and I do the same thing together with the Generation Unlimited Secretariat here in Kenya. So my update today is all about Generation Unlimited. So since last year, I think last year in November or December there, we were running the Generation Unlimited Youth Challenge. So it was the second time that it's running. Basically, we call it Generation Unlimited 2.0. And basically what happens sorry. Okay, basically what happens is we have a call out for applications and ask young people to submit ideas in terms of solving issues regarding education, employment, engagement, those issues, because we know young people are facing so many challenges, but they often are the people who can provide solutions for that. And they are also young people in the community who maybe they've already even started an idea, but they don't know how to make it grow. They don't have money, some seed funding to make sure it grows. So we open up this opportunity for youth up to the ages of 24 years. We also have children. I'm forgetting what was the minimum age. I think the minimum age was 14. I'm going to confirm that, but the maximum age is 24. And basically we just post on social media and just ask young people to start submitting. You submit on a Google Doc. So last year, I think it was open for about 8 weeks, and this was a partnership between UNICEF and UNDP here in Kenya. But globally, there are more countries participating. So globally, you'd find like other partners like the Scouts movement, you'd find Plan International, so many partners who work to promote Generation Unlimited. So here in Kenya, it was the United Nations Development Program and UNICEF. Now, the most exciting bit, I think, about this challenge is how I was involved as a young person. Like I mentioned, I'm already on the Generation Unlimited Steering Committee and the Generation Unlimited Global Board as a youth representative. So from the very beginning, I was involved in the brainstorming. Basically, there was a team of us. I wasn't alone. There was a team of us. We got to talk about how we can promote the challenge for young people. Then we decided the issues we could focus on. So countries had an option to focus on one or two of the thematic areas of Generation Unlimited, but here in Kenya we chose to allow young people to submit ideas on all the 3 areas of Generation Unlimited that I mentioned. Yeah, then of course the other thing was promoting it. So I had to do a couple of social media posts promoting the competition, getting a few stories from the previous year's winners. So that was Generation Unlimited 1.0, the first year. So I had also to get their stories so that I could promote and just to show young people that this is a meaningful and impactful kind of opportunity. Yes, so by the end of the challenge, by the time we're closing the challenge for applications, I believe that was January of this year, we had over 600 applications. And now the next thing was now to start fleshing out the good from the bad, the wheat from the chaff. You know how it goes. So I was involved in the judging process right from the country level to the global level. So each country had to start from the country level and select 5 teams no, actually select 15 teams. Then once the 15 teams are selected, they'd go for a boot camp, and then they would select 5 other teams, and then do another boot camp, and then select 2, and then submit those 2 teams to the global level to compete with young people across the world. So that's how it worked. Wow, I'm telling you guys, I think the most challenging thing I found was having people from other countries submitting. So like, this was specific to Kenya. I said the challenge was open to a couple of countries across the world, but now we're finding people from Nigeria, Tanzania, everywhere else from the world who are also applying. People from India were applying, so we had to, of course, disqualify those people. And then we had to now shortlist the best 15. Then we reached out to them. We were ready to do a physical boot camp. Normally, the boot camp would have happened physically. I remember the first time it happened, it was at the University of Nairobi, Chiromo. There's a lab known as the C4D lab, Computing for Development, I believe. And basically, they offer a space for young people to be creative, especially in the areas of tech and STEM. If you've been to iHub or NILAB, you know those spaces. So C4D is something quite similar. So yes, so in the first year we got young people to come, and then they also had trainers. So when we say we're empowering young people to develop their ideas further, or even if it's just a one line of an idea, just for them to think about it differently, we're actually very, very serious about it. It was done in a series. I think it was a 3-week series, so 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, a couple of weeks spaced apart. And the young people would come and they would be trained on issues of design thinking. They would be trained on how to promote the idea as a business. Sometimes they would come with an idea and then they don't know how to get it on the ground, and then they're trained on how to think about it differently, actually relate the problem and the solution they have to the reality on the ground. And we saw those ideas developing. In the first year, we had very good ideas. We had one on maternal health care. We had another one on art, empowering children and young people through art, especially the most vulnerable children and youth. There's another one about connecting marginalized schools and not so marginalized schools to come together through skills building. Then there was another one on identifying fake medicine. You know, a lot of times you can go to the chemist, you want to buy medicine, and then you just get counterfeit medicine. And actually 2 of these ideas, the last idea was about recycling waste into sort of raw material that can be used in construction. So that was very exciting. 2 of these ideas were mentioned, or rather acknowledged, by the President of Kenya, President Uhuru. He acknowledged the 2 teams as young people who are very innovative. You can go look for his speech somewhere on the Office of the President website. One is called Tambua, and the other one was called PGRC, plastic, glass, and what? PGRC, recycling something, plastic, glass, something, recycling. It's all about recycling, so you can check them out. I've also featured one of them on CynthiaUNTAMED.com. It's called Jalia Club, so you can check it out. Then if you're also very passionate about maternal health care, you can check Makaya Hub. And if you're also passionate about the area of healthcare, but specifically pharmaceuticals, then you can check out Tambua. So that was a very exciting kind of period. I mean, as a person who amplifies stories, I'm always so excited just to see how broadly young people think. As a young person, you shouldn't be seated there waiting for miracles to happen. I really believe that you are bright, you are brilliant, you can think of stuff. And you can think of things from entrepreneurship to social entrepreneurship to humanitarian issues. Don't limit yourself. You're extremely, extremely bright, and I think it's important for you to realize that. So then we moved on now to the second year, where I said we shortlisted them. Then the plan was to do physical boot camps, but guess what? Okay, you don't need to guess. COVID happened. I know you watched a lot of videos and everybody keeps saying COVID happened. So yes, of course it did happen. And then now it was very difficult to do a physical boot camp. But the good thing with technology is that the boot camps were done online. It was not as easy, but it was done, and the young people got to learn. They were trained on a couple of issues, how to refine their ideas and all that. Then now we had to select 2 teams. So I was one of the judges from the very beginning of the competition, shortlisting, that first pile that had people from Nigeria. I was the one who was sifting through that with a team, of course. Then went on now to the serious judging now during the competition and post the boot camp. And then now we had to select 2 teams to move up to the global level. Now, let me just mention that the 5 teams received seed funding. By seed funding, if you're not familiar with this terminology, it means, okay, how do I put it? You see, the way you want a maize crop, you have to plant the maize seed for the maize crop to grow so that you can get the cob and the maize. And then if you want more maize, you put a few pieces on the ground, then another maize kind of maize crop kinds of sprouts. So that's what seed funding is. So it's $1,000 in the beginning, and it's not just $1,000, but it's $1,000 and mentorship and training. So you're connected to partners who also work on similar challenges and similar ideas. Remember, there is nothing new under the sun. It's all about refining what already exists. So as a young person who has an idea, look out for the Generation Unlimited Youth Challenge in 2021 so that you don't miss out this opportunity. I'll be looking forward to seeing your application. Yeah, so we then selected 2 teams. Now, out of the 5 teams, the 2 teams, one is called Sekani. It's all about empowering young people with disabilities and those without disabilities to be able to connect with each other. So I know many of you've gone maybe to a place, then there's another young person, you want to communicate, then you realize, oh no, we are not communicating, most probably because the one of the young people can't hear. Also, rather they have a hearing impairment, so that makes it difficult. So this application basically bridges the gap through technology to enable people to communicate. The other team that made it to the global level was all about recycling waste. Guys, climate change is a serious issue, so I'm so happy that also young people are thinking about this, and especially in Kenya. So basically they're getting waste materials, compressing it. I do not know the technical terminologies of head, but basically they recycle and then they make briquettes, and then now they sell. So the good thing about this is that it's a social enterprise. By a social enterprise, we mean that it's a business that solves a problem. So you see, when this waste is sold, these young people, they get money because they are selling this thing, but at the same time they're also cleaning the environment. You see how it merges. Get money and you also get to solve a challenge. And that's why Generation Unlimited is so important, because now you get to be in a space where you will be trained, you will be guided. They will hold your hand. Those trainers, they will hold your hand and show you how to think about your problem, how to solve it, how to make money out of it, how to improve it, how to pitch it. There's so many of those aspects. And actually, one of the winners in Kenya in the first challenge was telling me the biggest thing she learned through Generation Unlimited Youth Challenge was pitching her idea. So you see, after she was trained how to pitch, now she can pitch her idea to other funders, people who can give more money, more opportunities and all that. And she was even able to pitch and travel out of the country just because of that idea and because she had that skill, which is why it is important now for you guys to participate next year. I will be watching you guys. I'll be saying Genu all the time. Anyway, so now at the global level, now it became even more challenging, because now you have 2 teams in Kenya, you have 2 teams in Cote d'Ivoire, you have 2 teams in Nigeria, 2 teams in Ghana, 2 teams in India, in Mexico, all over the world. I'm telling you guys, there are so many countries that were participating. Oops, I just realized that I ran out of space. Anyway, yeah, so like I said, the competition is very challenging, but it's also very possible. Now, at the global level, as one of the youth ambassadors, I also had now the chance to judge submissions in Africa. I don't remember the countries I was judging. I'm forgetting. Of course, Kenya was one of them. Let me see. I wrote them here. there were 7 countries that I judged, or rather whose submissions I looked at. Yes, here it is. So I looked at Kenya, Niger. Is it Niger or Niger? How do you say it? Niger. Congo, Egypt, Sao Tome and Principe. Is it Sao Tome and Principe? I'm not French, so I know it's not that, but yeah, Sao Tome and Principe, Djibouti, and Zimbabwe. So those were the 7, 8 countries that I was able to look at. And I'm telling you guys, it was not easy. You know, the way you think now your country has the best idea, then now you see the submissions from the young people outside of Kenya. And even some of the teams that I looked at, some of them were below 18. And you know, as a judge, you also have to be kind. You have to remember that these are young people who are looking for opportunity. And being a young person myself, I also was able to understand that. So you also have to give them feedback. Just tell them what do you think they could have improved and all that. And guys, I'm not calling myself an expert on all this technical stuff. So personally, as a judge, for some of these ideas, I literally had to do my own research. So I remember I spent a whole Saturday. I just set aside a whole Saturday to look at all the submissions. And for some of these ideas, I had to like Google, I had to look at papers, online research, just things online, just to read more about that concept that they had submitted, and then now look at the application that someone had made. Because I am not a person who knows how to recycle waste into fuel or waste into building bricks. I do not know how that works. I know it happens, but I do not know how it works. I write about those stories, but I do not have the technical skills to do that. So I had to do a lot of research just to be able to give these young people fair feedback. So that was challenging and exciting at the same time. And I was not the only judge. We had judges across the world, across Africa, across Asia, across everywhere. And so at the end of the day, no matter how you rank, it's not just your opinion as a judge of a team that matters. Remember that you will judge, you will rank, but another judge is also thinking differently. So at the end of the day, then now after all of us had submitted our scores, then now they were able to use those scores that we had submitted now to select the final teams. Now guys, I was just praying that Kenya is one of them, because in the previous year, Generation Unlimited 1.0 we of course submitted 2 teams to the global level, but none of them actually made it to the final. So yeah, but you accept, you win some, you lose some. And for me, I had seen like the young people who won in the previous year, they got to do further incubation in Egypt, they got to meet lots of people, they got to meet executive directors, they were trained, they got more money, they got visibility, and I even had the chance to share a panel together with one of them from Zambia during the Youth at Heart Forum that was organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Yes, so it was really exciting that year, and also heartbreaking that we did not have one of our teams globally. So I was just holding my hands, crossing fingers, and I was like, oh please let one of our teams at least make it, because remember, as a judge, it's not your fight. It's not you as an individual who determines who wins. There are so many, I think we're like over 100 judges. So you can imagine all that competition. Yes, but I'm so glad, and congratulations to the teams, the final 5 teams in Kenya and the final 2 teams globally. Congratulations to them. I'm really amazed by the work that they do. I'm really amazed, and it's also really encouraging. So one of the 2 teams submitted globally, it's called the Green Project Initiative from Mathare. Yeah, so that's what they do. They recycle waste into fuel. And guys, I was so happy. Even the day they were going to announce, I was just like, oh my goodness, please let Kenya be there. I remember I was really crossing my fingers. So we did this virtual kind of short ceremony of like just about 30 to 45 minutes, and then they announced winners, 2 winners in each category. There are 2 winners in each category and 2 overall winners, I believe. Yeah. There were almost 10 teams. I think 8 to 10 teams or something. I think about 8 teams. Yes, 8 teams. So they had overall winners among all the thematic areas, and now they had 2 winners for each category. And guys, I'm telling you, competition was stiff, but I'm also glad that they split the ideas into different categories. So they had education category, engagement category, entrepreneurship category, and then now at least that also splits the ideas into different ways, so that way the competition is even more fair. And Kenya managed to score in the it's called what, in the entrepreneurship category. We had submitted one in entrepreneurship and employment and another one in equity and engagement. So it's the one on entrepreneurship and employment that made it as the winner. And guys, let me tell you, I was not the one winning, like I was not like the person winning, but I really felt like I was the one winning. I was so excited for Kenya. I think for me, seeing Kenya on the global map for me was really amazing, because working through Generation Unlimited and seeing the opportunities it creates for me, I think it's also important for other young people to get similar opportunities and even bigger opportunities. I think that's very important. And you know, a lot of times when you talk about I think it's either the Ministry of is it the Foreign Affairs or Tourism? One of these ministries does something called Brand Kenya. And guys, for me, I usually believe that when we talk about Brand Kenya, we're not just talking about you know, the famous people we know like Eliud Kipchoge, Professor Wangari Maathai, who's the other Brand Kenya? Lupita Nyong'o, Catherine Dereba. Oh gosh, I'm mentioning a lot of athletes. Who are the other people in the other fields? Yes, they've just disappeared. But yes, when we talk about Brand Kenya, we're not just talking about the famous people. We're also talking about individuals like you and me, people who are doing great work in the community. And sometimes you don't get to that global level, but overall you contribute to the economy of this country, you contribute to the visibility of this country. The people who work in the flower farms in Naivasha and wherever, just for those flowers to get to the UK, you know, sometimes you'll think it's, you know, that ambassador will hold the flowers in the UK, you'll think that's Brand Kenya, but also there is that woman in that farm who actually planted the flowers and harvested them. Is harvesting the right word for flowers? I don't know. Wrapped them up really nicely, they put them on a plane, preserved them, and they got there to the UK and somebody was able to display it on Twitter. Brand Kenya is all about those issues. It's the small things. It's the woman in the village, the Maasai woman in the village who makes these nice necklaces, and they're able to weave the baskets really nicely, and then tourists come and buy them. We'll see the tourist posting it on social media saying they bought it somewhere in Masai Mara or something, but that woman who made it and made a few coins, she may not really understand the concept of Brand Kenya, but I, as a person who understands the concept of Brand Kenya, I'm just like, wow, that is Brand Kenya. And for me now, for these young people who got to the global level and one of them managed to secure a win, I was just like, this is Brand Kenya. They may not be famous, but they have good ideas that can contribute to the well-being of this nation, and that really, really excites me. Anyway, you guys, so that was the update on the Generation Unlimited win. I actually did a dance. I challenged myself to do the Jerusalem dance challenge just to celebrate these young people. I am not a dancer, but who cares? Very few people are actually dancers, so I'm just like, you'll dance to the beat of the music and celebrate people wherever they are in their journey. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they continue to develop, how they continue to excel, and how they continue to contribute to the well-being of this nation. I think that is exciting. Lastly, PricewaterhouseCoopers and Generation Unlimited, supported by UNICEF, they launched this report talking about the digital divide. If you've seen this word digital divide online and you have no idea what it is, I also got to know what it means just this year. Trust me, when kids were not in school and everybody in the media was saying digital divide, I was like, what on earth is digital divide? Like, I know what divide means and I know what digital means, but what is digital divide combined? So basically it just means in simple terms, it's the gap that exists between people who have access to internet technology and all that and those who don't have. So like right now, a lot of kids have been out of school and they've not been able to continue learning because they don't have access to the internet. Of course, we know through the Ministry of Education, some were able to continue learning through TV, KICD, radio stations and all that, but many of them were also left out because they also don't have bundles and all that. Few people in the universities could actually continue schooling for some time just because they didn't have access to the internet. So that is what we mean by digital divide. So this year, PricewaterhouseCoopers, GenU and UNICEF, they're really focusing on bridging that digital divide. So like I mentioned, I was able to sit in a panel in collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands, and we're talking about the digital divide and how young people can be empowered to continue thriving despite being out of school. And so they're doing this partnership, and they've also done this report. I'll leave the link to the report in the description bar below. And it's basically just highlighting the data gaps that exist, the gaps that exist in terms of access to the internet, and how internet can transform education systems globally, and especially to enable the most vulnerable children, those with disabilities, those in areas where it's just problematic to go to school, to continue thriving. So I did an thought leadership article of about 400 words in it, championing for sustainable development goal 4 on education and how access to the internet can enable us to attain SDG 4. If you do not know what sustainable development goals are, I have a video on this channel where I went to Bonn, Germany to attend the Sustainable Development Goals conference. So I will leave the link to that video here, so that if you don't know what sustainable development goals are, you can go watch that video and you also learn what SDGs are. So check out that video, enjoy it, and let me know if you need me to talk more about the sustainable development goals. So I will also leave the link to my article here. It's on the Generation Unlimited website. I'll also leave the other links to the young people who shared, my colleagues on Generation Unlimited from Ghana and all over the world, and we're talking about access to the internet basically from our own perspectives. So do check it out. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for joining us, as usual, joining us, me and my invisible people. But thank you so much for joining today. We're talking about Generation Unlimited. Please do follow me on Instagram at CynthiaOprah_Nyongesa, on Twitter at Cynthia_Oprah, on LinkedIn Cynthia Nyongesa, and also check out my digital platform CynthiaUntamed.com. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.